To have set these two men up and make it look like they killed each other. If there's one thing I cannot forgive, it's the desecration of the dead.
So, what did you want to ask me about?
The current case of the murdered Cadopian embassy staff member. I've heard that people have begun calling it the second KG-8 incident.
Only among you law enforcement types. And what about it?
I'd like for you to tell me everything you know about the original KG-8 incident.
I'm afraid I can't help you. I don't know anything beyond what was reported in the papers.
No, I believe you know much more, since you are directly tied to the KG-8 incident.
I'd appreciate it if you'd stop with the false accusations. Baseless outbursts are useless both inside and outside the courtroom, don't you know?
I do, but I also know that I do have a leg to stand on here.
Think you can stop making that ultra-serious face in front of me?
If you could please stop laughing for just 1 second. I'm not going to make any headway like this. I'm just going to have to show her exactly how related to the KG-8 incident she is. And the only way to do that is by presenting evidence. Let's see.
Oh my god! You're kidding!
Miss Yew, I believe that I have proof of your connection to the KG-8 incident.
That file is your proof? Very well then. Why don't you tell me exactly how I'm related to the KG-8 incident?
Your connection to the KG-8 incident is through the victim. The victim's name is CCU. You will note that she has the same last name as you. Can you really still tell me with a straight face that you are not related to this case? Oh no, not again!
Sorry, but we're not related.
What?
Just kidding. You asked that question with such a serious look on your face that I couldn't help but...
Miss Yew, I ask that you please tell me the truth.
All right, I'll tell you everything I know. As you guessed, the one who reported the smuggling activities of the Mono group was my sister, CCU.
As I thought.
And she was killed right before she was to testify at the impending trial by Manny Kochin. But because he was tried once and was acquitted, he gets to live out the rest of his cushy life completely carefree.
All because of a lack of evidence.
No, I heard that the evidence to convict him did exist.
What?
I heard it from Mr. Faraday himself after Mr. Kochin's trial was over. Apparently, a man in black made off with the most important piece of evidence.
Then the evidence had been tampered with?
Isn't that just like a criminal to do something like that? The smuggling ring being run at the Amano group by one of its secretaries. They bailed Mr. Kochin out. Turns out they were in league with each other all along.
How big was that smuggling ring? Was it a large operation?
I don't really know. Which is why I wanted to become the lead defense. On this case that people are calling the second KG-8 incident. But I haven't learned anything new at all. I was probably expecting too much, I know.
You mean, you think this case has nothing to do with the smuggling ring?
I don't know what to think.
Why did Mr. Kochin want to meet with you earlier?
Actually, he came to watch the trial. Apparently, he only found out that I was the defense lawyer on this case after he'd arrived. He figured he should say hi, and one other thing. Looks like he couldn't resolve anything this time either. Too bad. So sad.
What's that supposed to mean?
Oh boy! Stop it with that scary face already! I'm fine, really. I give him a good slap across the face.
The way she talks about slapping him as she laughs away is kind of creepy.
But it's just as Mr. Bad said. He's not related to the double murder. I asked around, and people in the gallery claimed that he was in his seat the entire time. Talk about cruel fate. Well, this is about all I know. Sorry. Guess I wasn't much help, huh?
That's not true. I'm sorry I made you recall such a painful time in your life.
Serious for your own good. You really need to learn to relax. We wouldn't want you to die of stress, would we?
Thank you for the advice, but there's no need to worry. I work in my own way, and I will catch this criminal in my own way as well. You'll see.
Look at you in a game face on, ready to go.
I'm making no such face.
Do you know? Laughter is the best medicine, Edgeworth. Don't you get tired of making such a serious face all the time?
I'm charged with making sure that all the criminals of this world are found guilty. I have no need for laughter.
There you go, making that face again. Oh well, I've got to get going. I still have a few loose ends I need to tie up. See ya.
The KG-8 incident in this murder investigation. It is my belief that these two cases are related to each other somehow. Plus, that Detective Gumshoe. It's obvious he's lying, even though the lie is hurting his chances. Clearly, this case is far from over. But whether or not that detective is the murderer can only be determined once I've completed my perfect investigation. Mr. Von Karma, I swear to uphold your honorable name, or my name isn't Miles Edgeworth. Sir, what is to become of the trial into the Cadopian Embassy staff member's murder?
Indeed, since both the suspect and the prosecutor are now dead. The case will be dismissed. In other words, the trial ends here prematurely.
Looks like you'll have to wait a bit longer for your big debut.
I suppose it can't be helped.
The evidence for this trial will be transferred to you in a little while.
Sir, what do you think about the murder of the Cadopian Embassy staff member? And the murders of Mr. Faraday and Mr. Rell?
What an outrageous circus it has all become. That Faraday brought it all upon himself with his naivety.
An outrageous circus? Right, sir.
I grow weary of this topic. Edgeworth, I will have you assigned to a different case.
Papa! You'll come and watch my courtroom debut next, won't you?
I'll consider it.
Sir, if I may, please allow me to continue with my investigation.
Whatever for?
I know that there is already a suspect in the murder of Mr. Faraday and Mr. Rell. However, there is not enough evidence to prove that it was he who committed the crime. I'd like to continue investigating in order to find the perfect proof of his guilt.
The perfect proof? Don't make me laugh. A versus person like you has no right to claim such a thing as perfection.
Papa. Who do you think is the real culprit behind these murders? Miles and I, we're competing to see who can find the real killer first. Plus, being able to investigate a real crime scene is a really rare opportunity. It would give us some real-life experience. Wouldn't you agree?
If you want to investigate this case that much, then do as you wish.
Then you're allowing us to continue?
In court, your top priority is to win, and a solid investigation is one of the keys to winning. We have to make sure you become recognized as a first-rate prosecutor, don't we? It wouldn't be very interesting otherwise. I'm returning home now. Edgeworth, Franzisca, see to it I'm not disturbed. Save for the results of your competition.
Yes, sir.
Of course, Papa.
Franzisca, thank you.
What are you thanking me for? Your logic earlier was built on that scruffy detective's lie. That means the competition is still on.
Yes, just as you wished.
Now then, let's see how well you fare on the investigation from here on, Miles Edgeworth.
I know I don't have enough information yet, so my first order of business will be to question anyone involved with this case. Miss Yew.
Oh, it's you, Edgeworth. And who are you? Wait, you were at the crime scene just now, weren't you?
You should be disbarred for not knowing who I am. I am Franzisca von Karma, and I'm about to become the successor to the family name.
About to? I guess that means that for now, you're still just another kid. In which case, it's only natural I didn't know who you are.
Why are you whipping me?
Anyway, it looks like they're planning to hold the evidence a bit longer. If there's one thing I can't stand, it's waiting.
I'm terribly sorry, but I have but a few more questions to ask of you.
Look at you! Eyebrows scrunched with lines on your forehead! To ask of you... You can't be fucking serious!
What exactly is so funny?
Sorry, I'm just bad at dealing with a super serious atmosphere.
Apparently, they failed to teach you proper behavior at a crime scene in law school.
I feel much better now. So, what is it you want to talk about?
I'd like to inquire as to where you were at the time of the murder.
We were in defense lobby number 1 the whole time, up until we heard the gunshots. And by we, I mean Mr. Bad. If you don't believe me, feel free to ask him yourself.
You were with Detective Bad? Why?
We had a little something to discuss, that's all.
So, I take it that you were acquaintances with Detective Bad.
Yeah, he was the detective in charge of the KG-8 incident.
Detective Bad is also related to that incident?
That's right. He was the one who's supposed to protect my sister, Cece. But you know how that turned out, don't you, Edgeworth?
Miles Edgeworth, I have no idea what you two are talking about. I've heard of the KG-8 incident from my papa, but how does that case relate to you, Miss Yew?
To spell it out for you, the victim of that case, Cece Yew, was my little sister. You're making that super serious face again! Oh God, you look like a prune! I'm fine, really. I just make it a point to rub some more salt in his wounded pride every time I see you.
The way she talks about doing that as she laughs away is kind of creepy.
Oh, speaking of Mr. Bad, he and Mr. Faraday, I'd say they meet up just about every single time the Yakuratsu made a move. It was practically a given that the two would meet up at every one of the crime scenes.
I see. He did mention that he is in charge of the Yatagarasu investigation earlier. Maybe I should ask her what she knows about the Yatagarasu in more detail.